Pulling stems out of Koala is super easy. First select the sample you want and then click the tools menu. Then click split stems. You'll be given a context menu that will allow you to choose what kind of stems you want. Once you make your selection, confirming that action will begin the splitting process. When it's done loading, you'll notice that 4 pads will be taken up with each different stem that you chose. So here we have drums. There we have bass. And there was no vocal track, so we didn't get a stem for that, but there is a melody track. So there that is. Now from here you can take a couple different ways. You can loop this and then build it back together, or you can chop it up, which is what we're doing here. With the sample selected, you can hit the drop-down context menu and select Auto Chop, which will bring up the chop menu, which will allow you to select how many slices you're going to chop it into, add a mute group, stuff like that. So we find a drum loop, we can then crop that and allow it to loop, kind of like how Ableton does. Now that we found a loop, we can use the stretch tool to time stretch it to more of a constraint that we want to work with. So obviously these are a little fast. Let's slow it down a little bit, set it to 8 bars. Now stemming isn't perfect, so sometimes you need to mess with the tone, which we have a tool for that right in the sample window. Sometimes you really have to mess with the EQ because the elements are being split by AI, so it can sound a little rough, but they're all workable. So now we're going to check out bass. One of the cool things I like about this app is even if you don't want to use the whole sample, you can just sample like a small piece and chromatically assign it to like a keyboard so that you can play the notes individually and, you know, have a little bit more customization over your bass line. Now looking at some of the melody that we did chop up beforehand, we can now resequence that to the way we want over the drums that we have currently. If you want to copy any of the samples you have on pads, you can literally just drag and drop them wherever you want. It's kind of a great thing to have coming from like any kind of hardware drum machine background that can be kind of convoluted. Here it's just drag and drop. I kind of like that as high melody sequence.